Hello everyone, we are the group 8 and we are assigned to discuss the last chapter, which is chapter 8, entitled Meetings and Conferences, Travel Arrangements. So at the end of these lessons, we as students must be able to discuss the elements of an effective meeting and use appropriate techniques in conducting them, identify and explain electronic meeting alternatives, define the responsibility of the office professionals in conferences and conventions. Fourth, take note and prepare minutes of the meeting correctly. Then last one, make travel arrangements, itineraries comprehensively. So these are the example of a meeting in the company. And this is the example of the conference. So, why meeting or conference is important in the company? So, it is very important in the company. It's because, through manggod sa meeting, diha ka makabalo unsay purpose gyud, then ma-aware ka sa mga panghitabo or flow sa business or flow sa inyong company, and then diha pod ma-develop ang trust, ang unity sa usa ka company, and diha po success ang company. Next. So, meeting effectiveness. So, there are meeting effectiveness. So, first is, there is a definite need for the meeting. So, kailangan, pag mag-conduct tayo ng meeting, dapat there is certainty talaga sa pag-conduct ng meeting. Hindi yung nagda-doubt ka pa kung magkakontak ba kayo ng meeting or hindi. So, dapat clearly, definite talaga yung meeting na gagawin. Then, pangalawa, the purpose is stated and clearly understood by all participants. So, kailangan sa pag-conduct ng meeting, lahat ng participants, they will understand the purpose or the goal. Then, third one is the appropriate people are in attendance at the meeting. So, appropriate people or yun yung mga tao dapat nandun sa meeting. So, kailangan they are there to attend the meeting. Kasi, it is very important para malaman talaga yun nilang yung mga purpose or kung ano pa yung pag-uusapan. Yun. Then, an agenda prepared and adhered to. So, kailangan yung plano prepared na beforehand. Then, fifth, all members participate. So, kailangan lahat ng mga members magpa-participate din para effective talaga yung meeting. Then, last one, there are outcomes achieved as a result of the meeting. So, at the end of the meeting, kailangan yung mga participants, lahat ng mga na-learn nila sa meeting, dapat i-apply nila yon para magiging productive yung company. Because if the participants will never apply what they learn at the meeting, so wala ding silbi yung pag-attend nila ng meeting. So kailangan yung na-learn mo sa meetings, dapat i-apply mo sa life mo para maging successful ka, and also maging successful din yung pinagtrabawan mo.
Unnecessary meetings or conversation that were totally ineffective because of the following reason. What is unnecessary meetings mean? Unnecessary meetings is an ineffective way of holding a conversation or a meetings without having an appropriate agenda or lack of clarity around who is organizing it and for what purpose. I have got some thought from the internet regarding to the unnecessary meetings that would be held according to the PDF that are given, just like the following. These are the following example of an unnecessary meetings and why it is being ineffective or not appropriate. No agenda. No clearly defined purpose for the meeting. Cannot define the main goal. why meeting is being held, just like a sudden or unplanned. Next, no clear meeting organizer. A meeting is called, but there is a lack of clarity around who organizing it and for what purpose. Just like what I've said earlier, it's the main problem why meetings is not appropriate. Next is a confidential or sensitive personnel must be addressed. These things should be considered because this could lead to failure properly secure and protect confidential records. Next, no minutes are taken at the meeting. Having an insufficient time to prepare for the meeting. It could be the reason that details are lost, actions and items are missed. Last is a communication is one way. There is no opportunity for questions, comments, exchange of ideas, and etc.
So necessary meetings could be appropriate when it involves a problem solving or making decision, an issue that arises that needs clarification, and a communications need to occur quickly. So, meeting should have a purpose. Thus, the meeting leader must understand the rule will be prepared for the meeting as well as the participants. Next, the role of the meeting leader. The meeting leader is who is responsible for organizing, planning, managing the details, inviting the participants to a meeting, and also responsible for the progress of the meeting. So, a meeting leader must be skillful in running. He must know how to engage people affected in an effective conversation around the issues and also must bring closer and agreed objectives. So, the meeting leader make the purpose and the objectives clear, adhere to the agenda, must know to manage time, encourage participation, lead a balanced and controlled discussion, and lastly, she must know how to handle the conflict.
Rule of participation. Before the meeting, participants are responsible for responding to the meeting notice in a timely manner, reading any material sent out before the meeting, evaluating the material sent out in relation to the purpose of the meeting, calling the executive to clarify any questions that they might have before the meeting. So it is important to know what the content of the reading material sent to you before the meeting starts. Next. During the meeting. One of the most important things in a meeting is being on time, adherent to the agenda, making contributions. During a meeting, you should contribute your ideas or opinions, listening to the others' participants' contribution, respecting the leader's rule, not dominating the discussion, being non-judgmental of the others' comments, being courteous to each individual in the meeting, taking notes if necessary. So, after the meeting, the participants may be responsible for some research, study, or actions before the meeting. They might be also asked to work with a small group of people in bringing back accommodation to the next meeting. So, after the meeting, it is expected to have a research study before the next meeting.
The types of meetings. So there are three types of meetings: the traditional meeting, electronic meeting, and international meeting. So the traditional meeting, includes the staff meeting, committee meeting, project team meeting, customer or client meeting, board of directors meeting, and convention and conference. So what is the staff meeting? So the staff meeting is one which executive meets with a member of his staff. They are the one to provide updates, deliver announcements, share information, and participate in a team environment. So the staff meetings is scheduled on a regular basis to handle the routine problems, to review direction, plans, and assignment. So that is the staff meetings. Well, the second one is committee meeting. The committee meeting is just like a task force. They are the one to deal a specific issue or problem in our organization. They are the one to contribute to the efficient operation of an organization, and it helps to organize the most important work of Congress. So the committee meeting is established for an ongoing purpose to identify and address safety concern. That is the committee meeting. Then, what is team meeting? Project team meeting. So, the project team meeting is used frequently in organizations with a specific project to be accomplished. So, they are the one to monitor the progress of the project. The next one is the customer or client meeting. So, what is this customer or client meeting? Generally, will be done only one or two people. So this is the direct collaboration or communication with a customer. The customer or client meeting is not always making sale, but it is also building loyalty and ensuring client retention. So that is customer or client meeting. So the next one is the board of directors meeting. So it is done by the most large corporation or organization. Their meeting usually governed by laws and strictly followed the parliamentary procedure. So the board of directors meeting is a formal meeting held at regular intervals to discuss major problems, and the CEO or the president of the company will be the one who called the meeting. So that is the board of directors meeting. And the last part of traditional meeting is the convention and the conference. So the convention are formal annual meeting of a members of professional groups. So this is a people, while the conference is a meeting in which there is a discussion on certain issue or topics. So that's all the parts of the traditional meeting, and now let us proceed to the international meeting. So what is the international meeting? International meetings are becoming quite common. It is very common because a lot of companies having client or customers in the other country, so it is either face-to-face or done by the electronic meeting. However, do not forget that cultural differences to exist to be successful. Such differences must be understood and respected. So, this meeting must have the respect to each and everyone so that this meeting will be done easily and successful. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, good morning everyone. This is Jumao-as Magallanes from BSOA 2B. So for now, let us discuss Chapter 8 Types of Meetings. Meetings is very important in order to have a discussion of everyone. So there are types of meetings, and this is electronic meetings. Electronic meetings, it is telecommunications technology, provides alternative to face-to-face meetings through electronic options referred as teleconferencing, audio conferencing, and video conferencing. This is very essential and very helpful right now because of this pandemic, new normal. We are not in face-to-face, but we can use and to have a communication by the use of electronic. There are so many apps or applications that very helpful to us, such as Messenger, Zoom, social media, that are very common to us in order to have participation in discussions of everyone, especially in business meetings. And there are so many things or meetings that we need to participate, cooperate by the use of electronic meetings.
The executive's rule in meetings. Determine the purpose. Notice should state clearly the purpose so that all individuals will understand why the meeting is occurring. Set the objectives. Determine who should attend. Determine the number of attendees. Plan the agenda. Establish the time and place. The office professionals' rule in meeting. Before the meeting, discuss the purpose, objectives, and general expectations with the executive. Gather information, make calendar notation, reserve the meeting room, notify participants, prepare the agenda like name of the group, date of the meeting, starting and ending times, location of the meeting, the agenda, items in order of presentation, background materials. Prepare materials for the executive. Prepare materials for attendees, order equipment, determine the setting arrangement, rectangular, circular, oval, U-shaped, semicircular. A rectangular arrangements allow the leader to have a good control because he sits at the head of the table. This is good if it is important to have individual talks in a group of 2 or 3. If the discussion is important, the table should not be too long. So circular and oval arrangement work best when the purpose of the meeting is to generate ideas and discussion. The meeting is relatively informal. These arrangements encourage togetherness, shared communication, and participation. So U-shape and semicircular arrangements work well for small groups of 6 to 8 members and when the meeting is a semi-formal one.
The office professional rule during the meeting. First, greeting guests. As usual, every meeting, we need to greet our guest. Second, helping the person conducting the meeting to observe parliamentary procedure. We need to help each other so that we have successful meeting. Third, taking notes and minutes. It is the most important so that we could review what our meetings all about. Fourth, seeing that food and beverages are served. We all know that meetings are not quickly done, so we need to have food and beverages. And the last one, handling special problem, so that we will have successful meeting.
Office professionals' responsibilities for conferences and conventions. Arranging the meeting facilities. It is important that we arrange the meeting facilities before the meeting starts. Contacting outside speakers. It is important that we contact the outside speakers before the meeting starts so we know if they will join the conference meeting. Making hotel and travel reservation. It is important that we make a travel reservation to the hotel early before the meeting or conference starts. Planning and conducting registration. It is important that we plan and conduct a registration so we know who is our guest or our speakers at the conference. Then, assisting with planning and arranging meals receptions. Before the conference, it is so very important that we plan and arrange meals to the receptions. Then, preparing evaluation forms. It is important that we prepare forms. Then, clean up and follow-up duties. After the conference, assisting out of town guests and speakers with transportation to the airport
writing letters of appreciation to the presenters, and processing expenses